Hi, I'm Paris, and the shirt I'm wearing today with the astronauts floating aimlessly about is sort of spot on for how I've been feeling lately. I thought I'd do a video about one of the times when you're feeling low on Lupron. I haven't done a lot of videos about the side effects of Lupron, and this is more than just the side effects. It's sort of the cumulative effect of all the things that it does. Now, I've talked before about I had some weight gain, some of those physical things, but I thought I'll talk about actually what's been going on and sort of getting worse over the last couple of years with the Lupron, and about whether I have it in me to continue this for the full 3 years of therapy that my radiation oncologist recommends. This is hopefully the last part of my prostate cancer treatment. At the end of 3 years of the Lupron therapy, I've already had the chemo and the radiation. If all the numbers look good, then I can stay off of it. And the way it's been described to me, the longer I can stay on it, if I can do the full 3 years, that's optimum according to some clinical studies that were done in Europe. You have the best chance of the cancer not recurring if you can do the full 3 years of it. Now, if you're not familiar, Lupron is an injection I get once every 3 months, and it keeps my testosterone down at 0. And I think when a lot of people think of testosterone, they think of athleticism and, of course, the sexual effects it has, both in terms of your thinking about sex, like all the time when you have high testosterone, and your ability to have sex, which also is affected by your testosterone levels. And as unpleasant as testosterone is in that regard, that's really not what has me in a funk recently. It's more the long-term effects it has, little by little over time, of decreasing bone mass. Your body needs to have testosterone in order to, it does this process where some of the bone material gets broken down all the time, and then new bone material gets added in. So you hopefully keep the same size bones that you have for most of your life. Not having the testosterone interferes with that. Your body still goes through the process of picking out little bits of it and reducing your bone mass, but it doesn't have the ability to get back in there and rebuild it. So on average, with Lupron, I think it's about 5% bone mass a year is lost, and I'm going into my 3rd year now, so 2 full years of Lupron, I'm estimating my bones have reduced in, I don't know in actual size, but possibly about 10%. Now, the reason it could be actual size, this got me depressed too. The doctor's visit I went to in December, they wanted to once a year, check the height along with the weight, and they checked my height, and I'm now exactly 6 feet tall, which wouldn't be bad if I'd previously been 5'11". I used to be 6'1½", going on to 6'2". My brother's a little over 6'2", and I was always the tiniest bit shorter than him. Now I'm considerably shorter than him. That's more of a vanity thing, of course, but still, my bones are getting smaller as I'm on Lupron, and it's a concerning thing, not just because my brother may soon be towering over me, but for falling falling against something in a way that normally I wouldn't worry about, but now maybe I need to be worried that I might break a bone. But the shrinking bones I don't really feel unless I'm standing next to my brother. The other effects of having the low testosterone, or the no testosterone in my case, is it's so hard to maintain muscle mass. Unless you are actively fighting to keep your muscles the same strength, they reduce in size, you end up weaker. Now for most of the time I've been doing this, I've really fought to do lots of steps every day, to get out there on the trail. I've kept the bottom half of my body up to date and fought the muscle wasting there, but I've intended to, but I really haven't focused on the upper body, and I can really feel it now. Things like opening a jar, when I have to give it to my daughter to open, and I posted on Instagram about a kind of turning point event when my daughter and I, it was over the Christmas holidays, we were in Mexico, and I don't know, we had some time to kill, and we said, oh, let's arm wrestle. And we arm wrestled, and I lost, which I guess put kind of a shocked look on my face, and my daughter actually apologized to me. She said, I'm sorry. What are you going to do? Now, I'm coming up on 60, and when men get older, you naturally lose some muscle mass, and different things happen like that, including the joint pain that I'll talk about here next. But it just feels like it's accelerated with the Lupron treatment. It's like what would have taken place between the ages of 55 and 75 has taken, instead of those 20 years, it's been condensed into 2 years. And the weakened muscles, I noticed, trying to lift up the windows, open the jars, different things like that, carry the groceries in from the supermarket now. I used to be able to take, 2 bags in each hand to get them in. I don't even bother to try anymore. I just take 1 bag with each hand, even if they're not that heavy. But that doesn't bother me all the time. What does bother me all the time is the arthritis that started after I went on Lupron. Now, my father has arthritis, and maybe I'm genetically predisposed to get that. And my father's arthritis probably started in his late 50s, about the same time as me, and it's gotten worse over time. It was in the hand occasionally, and then the elbow, and so over years it got more severe and it spread. But from not having any arthritis, just over the course of 2 years, it started in my lower back, it's up the spine, it went into the neck and the shoulders, all in the first year. And now I have, because they've, when they do the x-ray scan, they can see if you have arthritis in the joints. Now I can include the knees in that, and I can feel it coming, because I know what it feels like now, in the right elbow and the right hand. And my understanding of the way this works is with the testosterone levels so low, you sort of dry out. I've had the issue since going on Lupron with dry mouth, especially at night. I actually was getting cavities after years of not having cavities, and my dentist told me, yeah, it's a dry mouth from the low testosterone, so I have to put these xylitol melts in every night to make sure I keep producing some saliva. Other things can get dry, but in your joints you have this fluid that is supposed to go between the bones, so when they move together there's that lubrication and you don't have the bone damage occurring, and that's a liquid, the synovial fluid, which I think in my case is turning into synovial gel, because when I get up in the morning I can just feel, there's some pain in the motion there, and when I move things around and get it going, then it improves some. But just recently, it used to be that I would get things and it would improve, but my right elbow is the next thing to go, because now, even after working it around and flexing it out and so forth, it aches some all day long. So the hands were also, the fingers on the right hand were also recently, I'd have to do that in the morning, so I think they're going to be the next to have the arthritis appear. Now, this isn't a feeling sorry for myself video. I can do that off video, but I'm just trying to explain some of the physical things that I think are resulting in some of the psychological things. And the psychological things are being like these astronauts, not sure which way is up, having no compressed air left to push the button and send yourself in a direction if you even knew which direction you wanted to go in. It's like a lack of gumption or fortitude or wherewithal, all of these kind of abstract terms that people know what you mean when you're saying them, but when you say exactly what is that, where does it come from, I don't think anyone can explain that. It comes from somewhere inside you. It's not directly tied to your testosterone levels, but it's more psychological concept, which all the cumulative effects of not having the testosterone, I think, can get inside your mind and affect you that way. Now, at the holiday travel we did, going to spend a couple weeks with my wife's family in Mexico, going to Seattle to visit my father and my brother for a week. I did not keep up with my 10,000 steps a day, which I had been doing so well all of September, October, November. I started with, I mentioned in a previous video, a person online who's a fitness trainer in Australia that I can't remember how I started following, but I signed up for Step It Up September, and I forced myself to do the 10,000 steps a day, and I felt better doing that, so I did it in October, November. I got my walking speed up so that I could do, supposedly you get an extra benefit of health if you can walk fast enough so that you're doing shorter than 18-minute miles, and I thought, that's never going to happen. But I actually, by late November, I was actually able to do mile after mile, less than 18 minutes. I was really impressed with myself. Well, over the holidays, I didn't keep that up, didn't keep up. I kept most of my healthful eating, but not all the things that I had intended to be doing. So I basically let myself go in that regard, and I think I lost some muscle mass in my legs when I finally got back to trying again to go out and do the walking. It was like, oh my gosh, this is like a year ago before I could even do the 10,000 steps a day, day after day. I got to start all over again from the beginning, which even in times past would be discouraging. But I would pull myself up out of that and say, it doesn't matter, you're discouraged, you're going to do it. And I would have made myself do it. I haven't done it now. We've been back, what's today, about the 20th? So yeah, we've been back 2 weeks. Where's the gumption? I can't find where I left my gumption. Where is my wherewithal?
There are so many choices and you don't want to stress. You want your health food at home, receiving only the best. That's what we're here for, we give honest reviews. parristx.